All righty. Welcome, guys, to my live stream. How y'all doing today? It is a beautiful evening here in the Napa Valley. And just so you guys know, what's playing in the background there on screen is it's one of a recent drive that I did. Yes, may not be the most interesting scenery starting out, but the scenery gets pretty spectacular during this drive. So, can you all hear me okay? I guess we'll start with that. Says my microphone's working. Hopefully it is. Okay. I'm assuming you guys can all hear me just fine. Okay, excellent. Well, we're starting out here on the prairie. Not a whole lot to see, just a lot of farms, stuff like that. But the scenery gets more interesting. This isn't where we typically drive, so this is quite a bit different than what the kind of scenery we normally have in the background in our videos. Wow, I'm sipping a very strong whiskey here while I'm broadcasting this live stream. Somebody gave this whiskey to us as a gift. It's pretty expensive stuff. I normally wouldn't spend that kind of money on whiskey, but this is pretty damn good stuff. Anyway, so yeah, you may have noticed that we didn't have a video Friday or the Friday before that. Yeah, it's been really busy. Nothing's wrong. Everything's good. Oh yeah, it is I mean, for me, I kind of enjoy driving out on the prairie, looking at driving by all the farms and seeing all the different kinds of agriculture out there. Driving by the cow pastures, yeah, I know what you mean. The countryside, smelling cow manure. All the horses. Actually, a lot of people that live out there own horses. So it's pretty cool seeing all different breeds of horses. And earlier in this video, there was actually a cowboy riding a horse right next to the road here. But yeah, I really like doing drives like this where I drive a long ways, seeing different kinds of countryside. You know, I was out running errands, pretty far flung area that, as you can see, doesn't look anything like the Napa Valley. You might think I'm in Texas or somewhere in the Midwest. But I'm about to drive into some pretty dramatic looking mountains. But yeah, so things have just been really busy, you know. I mean, there was something not so good that happened. We had a sick and dying pet that we needed to look after, and that did take up some of our time. Our animal did end up dying, unfortunately. But it's what happens when you have animals. Unfortunately, they get old and eventually they die. So we were kind of tied up with that. Yep, this is California. You might not think it's California. It looks like it could be anywhere east of the Rockies. But yeah, this is California. Everything's dry. You can see the brown grass. But yeah, so it was sad. But other than that, things are good. Working a lot. Doing a little bit of property management, just yeah, my head's spinning. But here's the plan, though. We do plan on finishing editing video number 11 and getting it posted up this Friday, which would be, I have to bring up a calendar because I'm all turned around. It's been such a whirlwind of things going on that I can't even keep track of what day it is anymore. You're lucky I even remembered it was Sunday to do this stream, but I did remember and I did this stream. So that would be Friday the 10th. So that's next Friday. You shall look forward to video number 11. I just have to get that edited up and buttoned up, polished, and uploaded. And we'll do that. So that's Friday. Now, if we back up a little bit and we look at Wednesday, that would be Wednesday the 8th. I plan on releasing a road rage video. Yes. I'm going to be talking about this in a minute. People have gotten ridiculous. I don't know what it is with society. People are losing their minds. But we were involved in a couple of incidents. And I'm not sure which one we're going to feature on Wednesday, but we're going to feature it. So you have a bit of content. You get the video on Wednesday and then the compilation on Friday. Well, happy early birthday, bad drivers of Ohio. It'd be a little birthday treat for you, seeing some road rage. At least you're watching it from the computer screen and not being involved in it yourself. It's always funner watching it rather than actually being in it. Yeah, I don't want to do any spoilers, but I got to think about this. Do I want to tell you what it's about or surprise you? No, I'll just say that people are crazy and people are quick to trigger. And I believe on the left, folks, that that's a walnut orchard that just goes on and on for miles. And then the one on the right, I think those are apple orchards. I don't know. It's kind of fun just driving around, seeing what's out there. I mean, I wasn't driving around aimlessly here. I did have a destination in mind, but it is kind of fun just kind of touring the agricultural blocks out there in the flatlands and seeing all what they're growing. So yeah, this is Central California, which is the agricultural center of the West. It's amazing how much stuff they grow out there. Yeah, we grow everything from corn to, like I said, walnuts, apples, alfalfa, soybeans. I think we've got soybean fields out there too. I think it grows here in California. But yeah. But yeah, it's just crazy. I was reading an article about how there have been just an explosion of incidents on board planes with unruly passengers. You just see one article after another, and there's actual statistics being posted about that, of just how many incidents there have been. And of course, you all have seen the video of the unruly passenger that was so out of control that they had to duct tape him to the seat. And I think they even duct taped his mouth. That was pretty funny. I believe he was arrested once they landed. And the FAA is going to get tough with these people. They're thinking about doing fines, these ridiculously high fines. Well, it's not ridiculous. I think it's fair, considering that when you're on a plane, it's supposed to be a controlled environment. There's not much room for commotion when you've got pilots needing to fly the plane safely. Yeah, there was the one lady that punched a flight attendant in the mouth and lost a tooth. I saw that. But there's been just so many more since the pandemic started. I just don't know what's going on with people. I don't know. It's like, take a shot of whiskey, calm down. Life's too short to be acting that way. Microphone keeps slipping down. All right, here we go. I think I got it. And the palm trees that you're seeing along the street is another clue that we're in California. Got a lot of palm trees around here. Yes, chill pills. They are very much needed nowadays. COVID causing brain injuries. Yeah, they're showing that people do have cognitive deficits either during the acute phase of the illness or the post-illness phase. Pretty scary stuff. I'm glad that my wife and I are fully vaccinated. Although now we're hearing about breakthrough infections. That's one of our friends actually just got a breakthrough infection. She's pretty sick. And so that's pretty scary too. I'm really looking forward to these third shots. Get some more antibodies going. Yeah, a bunch of grown-ups acting like children. That's a thing. I'm telling you, we've just even ourselves just seeing so much more road rage lately. Uh, Hello, Union Pacific Rail fan. I do remember you. And hello there, I hate Diet Cola. I hate Diet Cola too. In fact, I hate cola in general. I'm not a cola fan. Thoughts on Newsom? Oh, people hate it when live streamers go political, but it's complicated. My thoughts are complicated. I think I don't know. I just know that I don't think we'd want Larry Elder. I don't think he'd be a good fit for the state. So I don't know. I chose not to vote in the recall election. I'm just like, you know what? I'll let people who know more than I do about let people who know more about this than I do vote, because I don't know. I don't know. I mean, no politician is perfect. You know, they all have their flaws. You're never going to find a perfect politician. They're always going to have some policy that you're not going to agree with. But I try to look at the overall picture with that. I think Newsom, he's obviously, you know, done a lot of things that a lot of people haven't agreed with. But if you look at the totality of what he's done, I'm not so sure that he needs to be recalled. Again, I'm not an expert on his track record, so I'm going to let someone else decide. And I guess we're going to find out on September, what is it, September 16th, I think this wraps up, this recall election. Oh, by the way, a little sidebar here. You can see that I've changed directions here in this drive that you're seeing in the background. Heading towards some mountains, and the scenery is about to get spectacular once I get into those mountains. Yeah, bad drivers of Ohio. I believe you are right about that. His policies on prosecution and economics is better. I will agree with you there. There have been some of Elder's proposals that I've agreed with, but a lot that I haven't. But yeah, Newsom. Yeah, and I definitely agree with Newsom's COVID policy. Elders policy. Screw that. No good. Whoa, that is strong stuff. Woo. Well, we'll see what happens with California. Regardless of what happens, or if Elder were to get elected, take his place, that would have a ripple effect throughout the whole country. So it's not just going to affect us here in California. The effects will be felt everywhere. Yeah, the homelessness problem. That's a tricky one. It's really hard. So one thing you guys may not know about me is I worked as a journalist. In my earlier days, I worked as a journalist. And I covered a lot of stories for the news. I covered stories about homelessness, about gangs. And I learned some very interesting things. And it is a complicated issue. A lot of people think, oh, just get a job. And unfortunately, it's not that simple. Because that was my thought too before working as a journalist. I'm glad I worked as a journalist because I learned a lot. It's really an eye opener. It's a very complicated issue, and unfortunately, there's just no real easy answer to that. Because any solution has its collateral damage. You can't just give them a free free housing, because then who pays for that? I mean, you can. Well, let me back up. You can give them free housing. It does work under the right circumstances, I should say. But it won't work with all of them. I obviously support having shelters. You got to have shelters. It's the right thing to do to have shelters. But as far as permanent living, you can do free housing, but like I said, it only works under very specific circumstances, and to a limited degree. And yeah, taxpayers have to pay for that. And that's, yeah, this is where it becomes a very complicated problem. Yeah, and then taxing the uber wealthy, you tax them more, so it sort of becomes a redistribution of wealth, starts looking like socialism, and socialism has problems. But I won't get into all that. I mean, capitalism does too, but socialism, I think, is ultimately the worst of the evils. All right, don't want to get too political here. Yeah, you gotta tackle the root of the problem. So face reveal, no, not yet, not yet. I was sort of talking about maybe this is a wild idea. Since I can't do a face reveal right now, doing a body reveal. Was talking about doing that, but I don't know if that would be too weird. And here we're getting into some more interesting scenery, as you can see, heading into the hills. It's only been 10 years. I know it's only been 10 years since I've been hiding my face. Maybe one day I will. That's possible. It's possible someday. Just have no plans for it yet. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, so here's the thing. You're waiting to know what kind of car I was driving before this red one. A knee reveal. Oh, I could do a knee reveal. Yeah, that might not be so awkward or scary. A knee reveal. My legs get a little banged up though. I got like nicks kind of all over them because I'm very physically active. So do a lot of hiking, outdoor stuff, a lot of gardening, and I tend to uh, get bumps, bruises, nicks, and scratches. But I could do that. I could a knee reveal. Now I was thinking about just doing like a bathing suit reveal. Like I go to the coast every so often just to sit my ass on the beach, sort of to just reset my mind a little bit. I thought, well, if I'm in a bathing suit, I'll just do a body reveal. But who the hell would want to see that? But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so the car. So you guys are curious about what kind of car I was driving, the beige car before this red one. Now, I have to wait until Google Street View has updated their images, especially for the block that we live on. Because I tell you what it is, you guys do. I think most of you have a general idea for where my wife and I live, but Let's see. Wish I could do that every day. Just sit on the beach and reset my mind. Yeah, the beach is only about 30 miles from here. Not that far. But where's I going with this? I was starting to kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. Oh, we have. I mean, our neighborhood, our general neighborhood, the name for our neighborhood's pretty big, so maybe I'm not so worried about spilling the beans about that because I think most of you probably have figured it out anyway. That we live in the Browns Valley area of Napa. Browns Valley is pretty big, so I'm not too worried about anybody narrowing it down. But if I tell you what kind of car we drive, I kind of have to wait till Google Street View has updated their images for that area. Once that happens, then I might say, tell you guys what we're driving. But oh man, when we got our new car, I so badly wanted to do a review on that car, a video, and upload it. Because we did that for Stephanie H. You remember the dash camera Stephanie H, who changed her channel name to, what was it, Bad Drivers of Northern California? She had a Ford Focus, and we did helped her film that video. Her car reveal, or what was it? I don't know what it was. Car reveal, just showing off her car. So she wasn't shy about that, but no, not specifically somebody we honked at, but just that our viewers, we've got haters and critics and stuff. I'm not afraid of the critics. It's that, we've had haters in the past who try to track us down and yada yada. I think it was a 2012 Ford Focus. Yeah. Good point on the looking back on Street View. Yeah, better wait. Yeah, I think I had the car, I think I was washing the car or something when the Google car went by. Yes, we love Browns Valley. It's very quiet there. It's a very quiet corner of Napa, except for Browns Valley Road itself. But if you're off Browns Valley Road, it's very quiet. There's not hardly any crime there. We have oh man, the thing we love about our street is that we have a kick-ass neighborhood watch program. So, I mean, even though we have a good system, I still don't want people tracking us down. But we have a kick-ass neighborhood watch system. People on our block, we've all got security cameras. Got of course, alarms on our house. Oh, by the way, there's a really cool mountain there in the background in this video. You can see the uplifting of the Earth's crust. You can see what used to be horizontal stratification layers of the Earth's crust have been sort of folded vertically. It's a really cool looking mountain. But we've got a plethora of security cameras, which is nice. We've got always have somebody watching the security cameras, so I'll kind of like chip in and pay someone to always be watching those cameras, alert us if there's anything shady going on, and then if we call the police for anything suspicious, which hardly ever happens. The response time is usually pretty good. Browns Valley Road hooks up to First Street, and so that's where the police station is, and all they have to do, it's just a straight shot to Browns Valley to get to our neighborhood. It's a crazy good system. Package thieves, no. I think the thieves pretty much know to stay out of Browns Valley. There are a lot of neighborhood watch streets in Browns Valley, so I think they've kind of figured out that's not the place to commit crime. Yeah, so this lake here that you're seeing is called Lake Berryessa on the right. It's very blue. Sort of like Lake Tahoe. If you've ever been out to Lake Tahoe, it's one of the few lakes that that looks almost like a tidy bowl, the 2000 flushes kind of blue. And what helps with that is, I don't know, the type of algae in the water, um, combined with the reflection of the blue sky off the surface of the water, just creates a really striking blue, highly saturated color. Nope, I'm not in Mexico. I'm in California. Lake Diablo, North Cascades Highway is really blue. Yeah. Yeah, we live in the earthquake state. Lots of earthquakes, fires, you name it. Got floods. We even have tornadoes here. Except we don't have tornadoes where the mountains and hills are. If you look back at the beginning of this live stream where I was out sort of out on the flat prairie, there are actually tornadoes there. Every winter we have tornadoes out in the Central Valley. Would you ever leave California? Someone asks. Actually, yes. My wife and I are considering moving out of California probably within the next 10 years. We're thinking of moving to the Northeast, one of the Northeast states. We're not fans of California. I mean, there is great scenery here, but there's also great scenery up in New England. So kind of looking forward to ditching the really hot, dry summers, the fires, the earthquakes, although the earthquakes haven't been as much of a problem for us lately as much as the fires have. Oh, yes, those fire tornadoes. We've seen videos of those. Those are kind of scary looking. Oh, somebody asked earlier in this stream, and I forgot to answer the question, are we close to these fires that have been ravaging Northern California? No, we've really lucked out. We are now, let's see, 2.5 months into fire season, and we've not had any fires real close to us. So we've been really lucky. The fires that are doing the most damage right now are east of us in the Sierra Nevada mountains. The Dixie Fire just north of Lake Tahoe, and the Caldor Fire, or Caldor, however you pronounce it, south of Lake Tahoe. Although the Dixie Fire is, I think, the big one. That's the one that's done the most damage, if I'm not mistaken. It's larger acreage, of course, that's burned, but structure-wise, I think it's burned more structures down. Oh, by the way, so this video you're seeing right here in the background, we're driving through a burn scar. All this countryside burned in last year's fire, but you can see some of the greenery off to the sides of the road. That's grown back since the fire. You have to understand, the California landscape is actually sort of evolved for fire. So when a fire comes through, you can see all the burned and charred trees that we're driving past here. The flora, the plants, the trees have evolved to regenerate after a fire. Except for the pine trees. A lot of pine trees, you can't really tell that they're pine trees, but they were pine trees. And when a fire comes through, it opens up the cones and it spreads the seeds. So you'll have a whole new generation of pines. And then the oak trees, depending on how badly they were burned, may regenerate or might not. But you could just see how enormous this burn scar is. It just goes on and on. You'll see here. This is a fun road to drive, by the way. With the new car, man, this car handles those curves like nothing else I've ever driven. This is a fun road. You just open it up and let the technology of the car. It's got like this adaptive technology that assists in its handling. It's just crazy. Best car we've ever owned so far. We're sort of driving through. There are a lot of cattle ranches out there. This is like the little Texas of California now that we're driving through. Lots and lots of cattle ranches. A lot of cowboys. A lot of good old boys that live out there too. So you get out into this part of California, you're going to see lots and lots of Trump flags and lots of lifted trucks. See a ton of lifted trucks out here. And we're about, I don't know, we're about 15 miles from the Napa Valley right here where we are in this video. I mean, you just never see this countryside in our dash cam compilations, hardly ever, because nothing ever happens. There's no traffic out here. There's nothing going on. But driver aids, automatic braking, lane assist, and all that stuff. Okay. So our car is a 2021. I will tell you that. It's brand new. We just actually just put 10,000 miles on it. It just crossed the 10,000 mile threshold, and I've got to go in for another oil change on Tuesday. That's something that so you have to understand. The last car I owned was an early 2000s model, so it didn't have any of these features. So going from an early 2000s to a 2021 was crazy. It took me a while to figure out what everything does. And when we drove it off the lot, these safety features were automatically engaged. It was weird. I kept wondering why the car seemed to be shimmying on the highway. Like, why is it kind of like going back and forth a little bit? There's no wind. The wind's not blowing the car. Well, come to find out, it was the lane keep assist was doing it. So it was like sort of like trying to steer itself a little bit. I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird. And it didn't like it if I had to go past a cyclist on a narrow road like this. See, look how little space there is for a cyclist and a car to share the same lane. You have to go over the double yellow a little bit to go past a cyclist to give them sufficient space. Well, the lane keep assist was a real bitch when it came to going past cyclists because it tried to steer me into the cyclist. I remember the first time I tried to go around a cyclist, it was trying to steer me into the cyclist. And I'm like trying to steer away from the cyclist. Obviously, it does let you overrule what it's doing. So it's not the ultimate authority on where you steer. You still can overpower it very easily. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a safe feature. But I just found it annoying. So eventually I turned it off. I just shut it off because I've just, no thank you. I'll steer the car myself. Seems like I turned off a couple other things too that I just didn't need. But the automatic braking, it only engages if it thinks I'm going to slam into something. And it has not engaged yet because obviously I don't rush up to cars. Do I keep a vehicle until it dies? I do generally like to, but if there comes a point where I'm putting more money into the car to keep it running, then I will sell it and get another one. So I'm probably may not run it till it dies because I'd rather maybe buy a brand new or lightly used car that's depreciated somewhat than to keep putting money into fixing it, not knowing if what next is going to die on the car. Yeah, what else did I shut off? It seems like I shut some other feature off I didn't like. I hardly ever use cruise control. And it also has adaptive cruise control, which is very interesting. Do you like the Chevy Silverado pickups? I'm not really a Chevy guy anymore. I used to be a Chevy guy. until I had Chevys that I always had problems with them. They weren't reliable, so it's just like, nah. Um, but I think when we get a pickup truck, it's probably going to be a Toyota Tundra. I'd probably like a Toyota Tundra. Oop, I think there was a skip in the video. Did I miss a clip? Because this does like the dash cam does intervals, so I may have missed an interval there. Kind of put this together in a hurry. Yeah, and that's the thing about safety features that I don't like, is they incentivize drivers. It sort of like lulls them into being too lax behind the wheel, too relaxed, and that's not a good thing. In that sense, it's sort of like when calculators were invented, people forgot how to add and subtract, divide and multiply. But obviously, they're very helpful. When it comes to these safety features, are they good in the long run? I mean, I certainly won't argue with having the automatic braking, because there have been times where I went to change lanes. I look over my shoulder and somebody in front of me brakes right as I'm checking my mirrors or doing a shoulder check, and then I almost rear end them. But that doesn't happen very often. That's very rare. But in a case like that, then I would, the safety feature would kick in. And I can't exactly argue with that. I just think that people need to constantly be reminded not to let their guard down, rely on their own abilities as much as they can, like not to use it as a crutch or as a substitute for common sense. And that's the concern I have with these safety features, that too many people are using them as a substitute for common sense. Oh, let's see. If you're on a twisty road of any kind, you put the car where you want to have it in a turn. That's the other great thing we like about our car, is it has very precise steering. The input matches exactly what you get out of it, unlike our other car that seems to just kind of be all over the road when you're steering. Just trying to read your comments here in the sidebar as I'm talking. I'm not good at walking and chewing bubble gum at the same time, so forgive me if I go silent for a second. Unless it's a trick. I did turn the turn signal sound up. So this is the other funny thing about new cars, is the turn signal sound in the newer cars is, how can I put this? It's generated for the driver. It's computer generated rather than it being a mechanical noise that it used to be. In the older cars, a turn signal was more of a mechanical thing, that the sound of the clicking. But nowadays, it's just the computer says, okay, you put on your turn signal, I'm going to make a clicking sound for you to hear. Yes, we do share the car. The red car is shared. But I did, it does allow you to change the volume of the turn signal clicking, which I got a good laugh out of that one. It's like, wow, you could change the volume of this? This is funny. But I turned the volume as high as it would go. You might be wondering, why did you do that, Napa? Are you hard of hearing? Nope, not hard of hearing. It's so that the clicking sound of the signal shows up in the dash cam videos better. So if anybody ever tries to say, you didn't put your signal on, Napa, yes, I did. You can hear it clicking. Have you gone through any diverging diamonds yet? We don't have any in our area, as far as I know. Haven't come across any yet, but I know about those things. Yeah, Toyotas are very solid vehicles. They tend not to break down very much, and that's why we would go for a Toyota Tundra over a Ford, Chevy, or Dodge. Bad Drivers of Ohio asks, why are my messages showing up multiple times? I don't know. Uh, Not sure. Maybe a glitch or something. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I don't know. Diverging diamonds, I've heard, are more efficient, but I guess can confuse people who don't know about them. And here we are. We're still driving through a burn scar. The Lake Hennessy fire that burned this area, gosh, it scorched, I think, close to 100,000 acres. It was just huge fire. Although you'll see a lot of these oak trees on the right and left did survive. They just got a little scorched on the bottom. Would you buy an electric car? Um, Maybe eventually. I don't know. I'm still a little skeptical about the batteries. You know, the cost to replace the batteries, because I know that electric cars, at least, unless my understanding is obsolete now, I think there's like a bank of batteries that operate, that operate these electric cars, and that they are insanely expensive to replace. And I know that there have been studies that show whether they do save you money in the long run. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think maybe they do save you money in the long run. It's just we don't. Maybe if we had more charging stations here, and once maybe there are more definitive studies that show whether they're more cost effective in the long run. I mean, I'm so used to gasoline engines and hearing the sound of the exhaust, the engine revving up. You know, I, I I can't say I'm a car enthusiast per se, but I do like cars. I do appreciate them, and I do love the sound, of the exhaust and the engine revving up, and feeling the car shift. I don't know. You just get used to one thing, and it can sometimes be hard to move on to a different technology. After you get home from a long drive, do you keep the footage from the dash cam or background footage, or do you just delete it? I don't delete it per se. I just pick out what we're going to keep. So we just pick out the clips that we're going to keep, and then the dash cam automatically overwrites the older files, so they end up getting overwritten. Is kind of how that works. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, S. That's another thing that I think about. The mining and the batteries pollute the earth more than the car itself. Yeah, batteries really are not environmentally friendly. So I think about that too. And I don't know how many studies have been done on that. I don't know. I might just wait. I don't think I'm ready to go electric yet. Have the flash brighter on the same line, like the blinkers that have to flash brighter on the same. Oh no, yeah, I don't like those either, and our car does not have that. So we've got blinkers actually. We've got blinker lights also on our rearview mirrors, which is nice. So that's more visibility. Our car is a lot safer than the cars we've driven. It's just got a plethora of different kinds of airbags. Let's see. Cool. Yeah, there are a lot of recyclable parts on the car too. So I mean, there's a lot of different things to consider. We just don't have too many charging stations yet. One thing that does appeal to me, especially about, I think the Tesla Model, is it the Model 3? I think has insane 0 to 60 time. That appeals to me. Just the sheer power when you push the accelerator pedal. The car we have now does have a lot of power. It's got more power than anything we've ever driven. Still, I'm trying to find excuses to drive it. You know. My glass is empty. I'm gonna have to refill it. This whiskey we're drinking, who puts it out? I think it's Orin Swift. They're kind of a prominent winery up here. I mean, they do wine and whiskey. I've got this like gigantic decanter on my desk right here. This huge crystal decanter. There we go. Bottoms up. Yeah, blind spots. So that's another reason we chose this car. It doesn't have bad blind spots. Yeah, so Twin Cities, that's a great point. They're really not green to manufacture. You know, based on the studies, maybe they're a little bit, considering the lifetime of the car, possibly environmentally friendly, but I don't know. I don't know. Like to see more studies on that. Yeah, if I give you horsepower and torque numbers, unfortunately, people are going to narrow that down. I've probably said too much already, but um, let's just put it this way: I have zero trouble passing people, um, when I need to, merging onto the freeway, coming out of those corners. So this car stays in a lower gear as you're going through the curves, so that when you come out of the curves, barely have to touch the gas and that thing just flies. We just love it. I mean, we love just about everything about it. And I really wish I could do a review. Oh man, it kills me that I can't, because I really wanted to do a review video and take you guys along for a test drive, like a point of view type of thing where I strap a camera on my hat or something. And yeah, I just, 2021 Morgan Plus 6? What is that? Oh, I have to confess, I don't know what that is. Plus 6. Morgan Motor Company? Wow, where have I been? Oh, that. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's like, what the? Okay. Yeah. That's why used car prices have gone up so much because of that. Yeah, enjoy the V8s while you can. They're on their way out. They're all being so the V6s and the V8s are being slowly replaced by turbocharged four bangers. Do I miss the old car? Whoa. If I breathe while I'm taking a sip of this whiskey, it makes me cough. I don't know. I mean, it was a good car. It was very reliable. Never really had any problems with it. Put about 150,000 miles on it and just needed a new car eventually. So it was like almost 20 years old. Um, I I don't know if I miss it. I don't know. We just love this new car so much that I don't even think about the old car anymore. I'm gonna pass on how many cylinders this has. I know a lot of cars have 4, but um, stock. Let's see. Trouble with electric. Just reading your comments here. Yeah, that's true. The Porsche. Yes. It's got a lot of power and torque under the hood for sure. This tank was 16. Oh, the Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. Yeah. Yeah, those things are tanks. Those things keep going. I can't say I'm a fan of very many four bangers. Yeah, four bangers obviously are rougher. I do like how the V6 feels. V6 is very smooth. Got more low end torque. That's kind of nice. Oh, I did have a 3-cylinder car. I had a 1988 Subaru Justy. That was my first car. And that little tiny shoebox also had 4-wheel drive. All I had to do was push a button on the gear shift on the shifter. I'll just push a button. But it really killed the turning radius on that car. Yeah, I made the mistake once of doing Lombard Street in San Francisco with that car with the 4-wheel drive engaged. I could barely get around those curves. And so in this the background video, we're out of the burn scar. So nothing here is burned probably in close to 100 years. See all those pine trees are still, standing. Driving past a lake, that's Lake Hennessy, and that's actually the origin of the fire that burned what I just drove through in this video. Three cylinders are literally hamster powered. Yeah, I had to turn off the air conditioner just to get, more power. Yeah, we don't do coupes. We don't do two-door cars or two-seat. Yeah, no. No, we don't do those. The Subaru Sherpa. I confess, I've never heard of that. A 2-cylinder. Huh. Yeah. Wow. Well, let's just say that the next car we get is going to be the same car we have now because we love it so much. We'll gladly have 2 of these. Maybe we'll get one in a different color though, just for a little variety. Nope, no sunroof. We don't like sunroofs. Now, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard that those things tend to leak a lot. They like constantly have problems with the seals going bad. That they keep the rainwater out. Yeah, that's the thing, James. Good point. People do tend to get way too hung up on power, horsepower, and torque. I mean, if you're towing something, you're going to want more torque, but people do tend to get way too hung up on power, 0 to 60. For me, I do like to have power. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do like to be able to get up to speed very quickly. But comfort is a huge thing for us, probably as important as power. Although reliability, I think, trumps all of those things. I want a car that isn't going to break down, at least not till it hits, 150,000 miles. or better, 200. Oh, by the way, here we are. We're turning right onto Silverado Trail. This is more familiar. You've seen Silverado Trail a lot in our videos. So now we're back in familiar territory. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people complain about their sunroofs leaking, and I don't know, just beside that, I don't know. I like to be shaded from the sun when I'm sitting in the car. It's like if I have no sunroof, I have more of an excuse not to put sunscreen on. So I just don't do that. I just don't want that. Yes, that's true. Wind, that's a very good point. There's a difference between having power and the way the car uses the power. So your gear ratios, when it shifts makes a big, big difference. So you could have all the power in the world, but you could have a horrible gear ratio and shifting points, and it's going to feel sluggish. Yeah, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. There is some powertrain loss too. If you have all-wheel drive, it does help with the initial launch, but we actually opted for front-wheel drive because we don't need all-wheel drive where we live. It doesn't snow here. And all-wheel drive does add more weight to the car, which affects the power to weight ratio, of course. So it's that's an excellent point. Spins the power into smoke or into a tree. Did you love those videos? Or some guy's trying to hot dog it. He ends up sort of thrusting himself into a tree. Oh, Shane. So you're in St. Louis, but you're from Gilroy and from Fairfield. Yeah. That's awesome. Have you ever been to the Gilroy Garlic Festival? I guess that's a big thing there. So Gilroy is south of San Jose, just south of the San Francisco Bay Area. Union Pacific Rail fan is asking, do you hate those small cars with 2 seats and only 2 doors? Personally, we don't care for 2-door, 2-seat cars. We would like to be able to carry stuff in our car, and or passengers. So we will generally pass on that configuration of car. Oh, what? Oh, thank you, Cliff Corbett. Very nice. Yeah, so tell us what you like about your Grand Cherokee. And thank you again, Cliff, for the $2 donation. That helps keep our channel going bit by bit. Oh, that's something else I wanted to talk about. Yeah, 4x4, all-time high gear, got low gear. Do you ever do any off-roading? And I'm curious, Cliff, to know where you are as well. What part of the country? Yeah, my parents used to belong to a Jeepers club. We had a what was it? 1985. It was a 1985 Ford F-250. It was a diesel. It had oversized tires. Wasn't a lifted truck though, but it had slightly oversized tires. And we belonged to a Jeepers club, and not everybody had a Jeep. Obviously, we had a Ford truck, pickup truck. Uh, oh, what was the color of the truck? It was like a desert sand. I think it was actually called desert sand. And we took it out to Moab, did all kinds of fun stuff out there. We did not do Lion's Back. You've got to have a really good rig in order to handle Lion's Back. Look up, I think it's called Lion's Back in Moab. It's crazy. There's been a lot of videos of people flipping on that one. It's pretty treacherous. All-wheel drive transfer cases running, no off-roading because I have limited slip in Mississippi. Hey, but at least you enjoy it. That's all that matters. You enjoy your Jeep. Yeah, the dualies I don't care for either. They do take up a lot of room, and when you're passing one on a narrow bridge, it's kind of scary. You have to like almost stop and maneuver past the person. I don't know. If you're towing something, it makes sense. Pause traction. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Moab, Utah is a very popular place for off-roading. I don't know if you guys would want to see this, but I actually have home video. When we did Moab back in when was it? 1994? It was 1994 we did Moab. And I've got some video of us doing that. I don't know if it'd be too boring for you guys. I know some people are like, "Oh, home video is boring." But if you guys want to see it, I can post it up. You just let me know. Just let me know in the in the sidebar here if you guys think it's something I should post. Yep. Yep. Gun it and don't usually slip. I pulled the truck out of a ditch before with it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What made you want to buy this car in red? We were very fond of this type of red. Don't normally like red cars, but this red somehow really, I don't know, it just got me hard, you know? Not literally. I'm just saying that figuratively. But this is like, but I think more importantly, my old car was just old. It was old. It was pushing 20 years old, and it's like, just got to get rid of it. 150,000 miles. There were little things starting to go wrong with it, and it's like, yeah, let's just we need something new. So just get something new. That's what we did. I'd say that's what it was, but I did a lot of research on different kinds of cars, and this just fit all our criteria for what we wanted in a car. It's super comfortable. It rides smooth. Oh, it's such a smooth car. It's even almost as smooth as the Lincoln Town cars I used to drive when I worked as a limo driver. It's reliable. It's got lots of power. Fuel efficient. Considering how much power it has, it's actually quite fuel efficient. So I'd say that's what our impetus for buying that car. So what I was going to say is I want to talk about our channel for a minute. All right, Wind, thanks for being in here, for tuning in and commenting. So have a great evening, Wind. It was nice to have you. Bird poop, before I get on to our channel. No, it has to do with more, if we're parking under trees, certain trees, or any places where birds tend to perch, which I become more conscious of that of not doing that. So, so I want to talk about our channel a little bit. And let me just go back up real quick. Cliff here donated $2 to our channel, which is very nice. Thank you, Cliff. Once again, there's a little dollar icon underneath the sidebar chat where folks can donate if they choose. You know, we don't mention that. It's just usually it's just there, but I mentioned it because he donated. So very sweet of him to do that. As you know, our channel went through an enormous slump to the point where we weren't sure if we could keep the channel going. There was something going on with the YouTube algorithm. We had to think about whether we were going to have to make some tough decisions about scaling back. Ultimately, we decided to stick it out and weather the storm because we want to continue giving you guys the entertainment that you come here to see. You know, we care about you. You guys are like our family, you know. We value our viewers. We want to give you guys what you want to see. We enjoy creating content for you. And we want to continue doing that. It's just that things were getting so tough that we were having, getting close to being forced to scale back and not do things the way we were doing. Like cutting the narration or uploading less frequently. Because what we do is a lot of work. It's a lot of work creating the videos as you see them. Combing through our dash cams for the clips that we're going to feature. That takes time. Creating a script, a narration. That takes time. Coming up with the material, the comedic material. That's gotten tougher, actually. Coming up with new stuff. You start running out of ideas, but things were getting hard. The views are dropping. We think it's an algorithm thing because other dash cammers were reporting that their views were also going down around the same time. I mean, this was a drastic plummet in views and new subscribers. It got pretty bad. We really hit a low. And what we make off of our videos, barely covers the effort, the time that we put into creating the videos. And, the people who donate dash cam clips to us, their captures, we feature submitted content. That takes work too. We have to trim them up. We have to process the videos that people send us. It's a process. It takes time. I have to take time from my jobs, because I've got a lot going on with the businesses, but I have to take time away from work in order to do the videos. And so it has to be, we have to compensate for that time that we spend. I'm the one who edits and narrates and publishes, and I'm the what do you call it? Trying to find my words now. The spokesperson. I'm the spokesperson for the channel. Our other partners that are involved with this channel, they're more background stuff. They do more. They make the decisions about what goes in to what gets accepted into the compilations. And they vote on what changes we make to the channel. but they've sort of put me in charge of the big stuff, the editing, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So we have to make sure that we at least get a little bit of revenue to cover what we do. And when we weren't getting that revenue for a while, you know, it was hard. It was hard. But the good news is things are coming back up. We're getting the views again. Things have gotten better. And there seems to be really no rhyme or reason to it. Like, we're still doing the videos the same way we've been doing them. And that's another reason why we think it's an algorithm thing. That's, you know, was responsible for that dip, because there was no rhyme or reason for that either. But things have gotten better. You know, every little donation that we get helps justify the time that we spend on that. But we don't ask for donations per se. You know, if people want to donate, they can. That's why we've left it open for that. But you know, we don't push that too hard. Try to find more Russian bad drivers. A lot of Russian bad drivers. Yes. Oh, I believe in our next compilation, you're going to see someone driving on the sidewalk, which is, you know, like the Stop Cam. You guys watch Stop Cam, the YouTube channel? It's called Stop Cam. You know, it's the Russian guys that they put stickers on people's windshields who are driving up on the sidewalks. They post when they can. That's what we do too. And you guys would have had a video sooner. You guys would have had one last week, but like I said, we had way too much going on. Had our dying pet and just other things happening in our lives that we couldn't do it. Cart narcs, but with cars. I'm just reading your comments here in the sidebar chat. James. He doesn't submit any because he thinks a right-hand drive country would be hard for us to digest. Yes, it would confuse people. Get critics. Hey, you're driving on the wrong side of the road, Napa. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Oh, Headless. I just wanted to tell you, since you're tuned in here. So Headless Chicken here submitted some clips to us recently. There were so many clips in there that, so in the next video that comes out, number 11, I almost said 111, meant to say 11. Compilation number 11, the submitted section is going to be exclusively your clips, Headless. So I found quite a few gems in what you submitted to us, and that's gonna be pretty much just that for the submitted will be your clips. Let's see here. Let me go down the sidebar chat and see what else you guys are posting. Oh, that's right. You know, I forgot all about that. They actually do drive on the left side of the road in the Virgin Islands. Hey, that's pretty cool that you found a dash cam. That's awesome. Oh, gosh, this bugs me. Yeah. Oh. So our critics. Obviously, we have critics. Any YouTube channel has critics. It doesn't matter what you post. You're always going to have critics. Um, I do find it funny that our critics assume that I'm the one driving in all the clips. And it's so consistent. The critics are so consistent. They're always like, "You honk too much. You are always blah, 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 blah. You blah, 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 blah." It's always you insert criticism here. And it's like, well, I'm not the only driver in these clips. I mean, first of all, we have submitted clips, you know, different car, different voice, obviously a different camera, different part of the country. And then even in our own clips, I'm not the only driver. My dad was driving in some of the clips in the last video. And then my wife and our other one of our other guys, it's I don't know why they assume these things. Scotty's dash cam bad drivers. I don't know. No, I haven't heard of Scotty's. Is that the name of his channel? Dash cam bad drivers. Scotty's dash cam bad driver. Let me look that up real quick. Scotty's dash cam bad drivers. No, I don't see anything. Go ahead and tell us the name of his channel. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, and we're heading up heading up a mountain here in this in the background of this live stream. And so that mountain you see in the background, that really tall one right there that's coming into view, that's the one that I hike from time to time. I like to hike to the top of that mountain. Some amazing views from up there. And I always see rock climbers up there. There's a lot of like rock faces and stuff. Let's see. People have accused you for certain things other people have done despite that the clips were submitted for some. Yeah, so I personally get blamed for anything that maybe somebody in a submitted clip did that was controversial. Stuck in a ditch with it so far. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, the hood of the car looks different voice. Footage quality is different watermarks. I mean, yeah. Hello, Buster Mobile. Thanks for tuning in. You don't know what you've missed. You missed out on most of an interesting drive, though. Oh, Scott's car cameras. Oh, I know who you're talking about now. Okay, I know who you're talking about. Yes. That guy. Ooh. I have seen some of his videos for sure. Yep, Australia, New Zealand. Mm-hmm. Scotty Kilmer. I was just about to mention Scotty Kilmer, actually. Yeah, he's great. I love his videos. I've actually followed some of his advice. Driving really bad. Okay, tell me which guy this is. Is the guy that was bragging about driving really bad still in prison? Are you talking about Spastastic TV? The one in Utah who got arrested for his reckless driving that he posted online? If you're talking about him, no, he is not in prison. He was never in prison. He was in jail, I think, for 3 nights. And that's about it. He pretty much got a slap on the wrist. But who knows? Maybe he's changed his driving habits and he's not like that anymore. Which, for me, I like to let bygones be bygones, especially if the person has changed. I think people are entitled to change. But if you're talking about the YouTuber Shannon CVPI, who has changed his name to, give me a second here. Give me 1 second. No, he's changed his name to 09 space CVPI. He drives a Crown Vic Police Interceptor. If you're talking about that guy, no, you wouldn't be talking about that guy because you said still in prison. So that implies that we knew who was in prison. Okay, so you must be talking about Spaztastic. Yeah. So no, he's yeah. Yeah, the bad knees are pretty limiting. That does suck. Yeah. Oh, you guys should watch Stanley Roberts' a Millennial Boom series. He also has a series, something like Why Aliens Won't Visit Earth or Why Aliens Won't Invade Earth. Yeah, I like him. I had Stanley Roberts once on a live stream. He's a cool guy. What do you think of the channels Mega Driving School? These two channels are really good, but they also do bad driving. Oh, you mean bad driving compilations? Yeah. I mean, I think as you know, I have no problem with them. Happened in DC recently. No, I can't say that I have, and I read the news every day. Well, we're coming to the end of the background video. I'm gonna have to start it over again because the live stream's gone longer than the background video. I kind of reached my hiking destination here. I did decide to go hiking at that spot that you see in the video here. So I'm gonna start the video over where I am on the prairie. Driving past all the farmland. Nature reserve. I was concerned going alone. Oh, so where are you going to be filming now? Guy's hanging a brick over the side of an overpass. Oh. Oh, I did not hear about that. That's crazy. Oh, yeah. So I made the news in Chicago, actually, because yeah, I mentioned this guy to, what was it, Channel 2 in Chicago, Channel 2 News in Chicago, of Shannon CVPI, who's now 09 CVPI, that YouTube channel. He had uploaded some really reckless videos of his, where he was running he was running stop signs, red lights. He was actually ramming people from behind. Crazy stuff. Okay, I guess I can, well, I wonder if I can find it. I can maybe put a link in here to that. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna see if I can find that. Chicago News plus YouTube. You see here. So a reporter interviewed me for this story in Chicago. Any down wire called. It is amazing to me that he is not in jail right now. Truly amazing. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this link into the description so you can see the news story that I was interviewed for. Wait, did it go? Hang on a second. There it is. Okay. I just posted this link. You can watch it now if you want, but you're going to miss the live stream. Just keep it, maybe open it in a new tab and watch it when you're done with this live stream or something. Yeah. So anyway, he rammed a couple drivers in road rage incidents. Rammed them, full on rammed them. He has a push bar on his police interceptor. And he got a lot of attention on Reddit. Oh, they ripped him apart on Reddit. Rightfully so. And then he ended up taking the videos down. But yeah. Let's go down here into the comments. Oh, I don't know anything about those trains, honestly. All right, S. It was good seeing you in here. Take care. Got somebody else taking off as well. I got to go enjoy the stream. Thanks, Napa. You have a good one too, Ixion. Yeah. Oh, Stanley Roberts didn't do a live stream this weekend. Okay. Yeah, he's busy with the family. You know. I'm just going down the sidebar chat. Yep. Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and post Shannon's YouTube channel. You have to kind of search far and wide for his reckless driving videos. I mean, you could definitely tell. Let's see, get vaxxed or get fired. Can't lose a career. You can definitely tell he's aggressive, but he's kind of gotten a little better about hiding his reckless driving. But I'll go ahead and post a link to his channel anyway, in case you want to, just see what I'm talking about. Okay, I just posted that. Let me go back up now. Yeah, no charges. Yeah. Yep, he is an idiot. Let's see. You're talking about Chicago. Yeah, they're so busy with so many shootings and so much violence around there that I guess he's just not a high enough priority to go after him. So it is what it is. Oh, okay. Willow Bibo says, I have some video of bad drivers. How can I send it to you? You can email us at baddriversofnapavalley@gmail.com. That is baddriversofnapavalley@gmail.com. And that's how you can send clips to us. Thought I heard somebody at the door. There's nobody there. Might actually be haunted here. Some funky things go on that we can't explain. But anyway, you can submit clips that way, and we'll just need to go over a few things with you. We have a few items that we have to have you acknowledge before we can use your clips, and that's just a general formality. Oh, what is the name of Stanley's channel? Oh, what is it called? Good question. I'm subscribed to him, but I think it's Caught Misbehaving. Yeah, it's called. No, wait a minute. He changed his name again. It's called Mr. Badley Productions, and I will go ahead and post a link in the sidebar chat. All right, I'm going to go ahead and post a link in the sidebar chat for you. Mr. Badley Productions. Have you been vaxxed? Yes. We've gotten the full regimen, except for the third. Have not gotten the third jab yet, but I hope to. I was a little worried about how rushed they were too. I wasn't real quick to get vaccinated. because just wasn't sure yet, what the long-term effects could be. But when I had 3 family members die due to COVID and a couple others close to me who almost died, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna wait any longer. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get it." This is I think, any long-term effects are gonna be better than getting COVID itself and, getting long haul symptoms 'cause, the 2 people who got really sick got long haul symptoms, like, they're still can't work. This is like 6 months. No, this is longer than 6 months ago. It's like 9 months later. They're still, like, suffering, and I don't wanna go through that, so, just like, yeah, yeah, got it done, just got it done. Yeah. Yeah, that's yep, yep, that's was my thinking, after a while, I'm like, "Yeah." I kinda wanted I was, like, waiting for more studies to come out, long-term studies, and obviously we can't because it hasn't been out that long, but there just came a point where, you know, people were just dropping off like flies that it was time to just do it. So, I don't regret it. I'm glad we did, and I'm looking forward to the 3rd now. Are we doing boosters yet? We will be doing boosters. I think they said middle of September? Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think middle of September. We're gonna start doing boosters for those who had the vax, what is it, 9 months or longer ago. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, okay, that's right, yeah. I think that's what nationwide, September 20. I think so. Alright, Cliff, glad you were able to come in. Thank you again for your donations, and we always appreciate that. Um, yes, thanks for coming in. Be safe. Absolutely. Thank you. Ah, okay, so they started that in Canada already, eh? I think there will always be outliers. I think there's always gonna be, like, somebody, maybe a very rare case where someone does have a bad reaction to the vaccine, but, just on the data, there just hasn't been a lot of that. Um, I I don't know. There just hasn't been much of that. Not saying it can't happen. There have been some very rare cases with the flu vaccine of, uh, what not was it ALS or something? Guillain-Barré, I think. Yeah, but so rare. Your chances of, having such a reaction, I think, are just so slim. What else? Yeah. That's happening in a few of our states, especially, like Florida, Texas, some of the more some of the other southern states. We've been doing walk-ins for a long time here. Yeah, my arm hurts. Ooh. Trying to think back. Seems like my arm just hurt the first time. And I did feel a little fluish on the second shot, but it's nothing I couldn't handle. It was no big deal. I just got it. Yeah, with new data coming out all the time, the goalposts are going to change. You know, it's tricky. What's that? Tell me. All right, bye, Cliff. Thanks for coming in once again. It was a pleasure having you. Get vaccinated where I live. Remind me again where you live. Okay, let's see what else we have. Can happen, but are exceedingly rare to the point that the benefits outweigh the risk. Exactly. That's that's what I say. Ontario, by the number, stands pretty close to 80% by fully vaccinated. But yeah, oh, I'm not sure what we are in California, but I think we're a little bit ahead of what the country is overall. Yeah, that clip. That was crazy. Yeah, the stronger your immune system is, the sicker you tend to get with that second jab. But it just means that your immune system's doing what it should. And so don't sweat it. Don't let that stop you from getting vaccinated. I mean, I was a little nervous too, but I felt sick, but only for like 24 hours, and it wasn't a big deal. I just, you're so much better off getting that than getting COVID itself. Well, here's the thing, Jeff. The media does tend to spin things. I do agree that, you know, they do that sort of thing. However, when you're dealing with something that requires transparency, you're dealing with something that, because you're dealing with the safety of the public, the authorities can't mislead us without an enormous amount of liability. I really don't think that the FDA is going to, or any other health authority is going to push something that's bad for us and not report on it. It would come back to bite them big time if they were to push something, that could kill us, or that's likely to hurt us or cause great harm, leading us on to believe that it's safe. There's enough liability there that they're not going to do that. I just don't think that our government has lied to us about things, but when it comes to the safety of the general public, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna leave things out. I gotta disagree on that a bit. And the media too. The media, if they're yay, the vaccine is fully safe, and if it wasn't safe and a bunch of people died, well, they're gonna be liable for that. And I don't think they're willing to risk that. I don't think they would have out of good conscience either. I don't know. I got to disagree on that. Oh, cool. Hello, fellow Napan. How long did you live in the Napa Valley? Yeah, I mean, there's going to be rare side effects here and there, but it's a whole lot better than getting COVID. Not being able to breathe for months and months after, or have kidney damage. Some of the other things they're finding out this long haul stuff is not pretty. Um, oh, JHL. I think I know. Yeah, I think I know who you are. You emailed me a while back. I think you were going to give me a tour of the facilities there. Yeah, you said you worked for the city. I think I remember you. Yep. What else do we have here? Just reading your sidebar comments here. Car company. Um, well, if I tell you that, it gives too much information away about what we drive. um, Hello, Halo. I wasn't expecting to see you here. He says the government has no more regulation of the vaccine than they do over a Big Mac. The real work isn't done by government officials. Hmm. But I still don't think that they would promote something that would kill us off. I just have a hard time believing that they would, push something that isn't safe. I just, I too much liability. Um, let's see, what else do we have here? I don't trust a company that lied that they had asbestos. Hmm. I mean, companies have definitely made mistakes in the past. Some have done some horrible things. But when you're dealing with something so widespread as a vaccine, you kind of have to be a little bit more sure about what you're doing. Oh, you survived another Bottle Rock weekend. Yes, we've got Bottle Rock going on here in the Napa Valley. It's a huge concert festival, draws tens of thousands of people to the area. We've got, I don't even remember who's playing. We had the Foo Fighters playing, some other really big bands, musicians. Some of them have backed out due to COVID. And that's my point, Halo, the knowingly part, that they would know that something's unsafe and go, hey, we're going to push this anyway. I don't, yeah. Unknowingly, that's understandable because it hasn't been around long enough. We don't have all the data. You can't possibly have all the data. It takes time. So you have to make a decision. You're facing this pandemic where people get very, very sick and die. Something that it's been estimated to be 4 times deadlier than the flu per capita. When you're dealing with the volume of people who get it, um, it's not just the death I worry about. It's also the level of illness and the long-term effects that COVID has on the body, ravages it. Let's see, what else? So it's like, do you risk COVID or risk the vaccine? You know, based on what we know, the vaccine is safe. Based on what we know about COVID, COVID's not safe. I'm going to go with the vaccine. Um, I I got Pfizer. Yeah, Nappy Valley with the driving there. That's yeah. Prime Minister called for an early. I'm just kind of reading through the comments here. So Halo, would you like to join this live stream before I cut it? Well, let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Yeah, I'm not terribly big on forcing things on others. I think there is a big difference between encouraging and forcing, though. And it depends on what it is. If it's following the laws, then yeah, I kind of think we should probably force that on others to follow the law, like not killing people, whatever. It just depends on what it is. Forcing, encouraging. Okay, now I do have to make an argument about freedom. Okay. So I've always made this argument. Your freedom to not get vaccinated kind of ends with someone else's freedom not to get sick from you. And you might say, well, just get the vaccine if you're worried about getting sick. But there is a segment of the population that cannot get the vaccine because either the ingredients within the vaccine are allergenic to the recipient of the vaccine, so they can't get it, or they're pregnant. I think there's, some other criteria that would disqualify someone for the vaccine. And while the vaccine does protect most people most of the time, there are still breakthrough infections. It just makes sense to get vaccinated. Another thing, we've all been vaccinated against polio, smallpox, and these other things. So why the freedom argument now? The children of the past were required to get polio, smallpox, what was the other one? Measles vaccines. And only now it seems to be a problem for people saying, my freedoms, my freedoms, my freedoms. I don't know. It's a touchy subject. Although I have to say, no one's being forced to get the COVID vaccine. There are things like, we won't let you in this establishment until you've gotten vaccinated. That's a little bit more than encouraging somebody to get it. That is compelling someone to do it. If you want to go into certain establishments, you have to show proof of that you've gotten the vaccine. Yeah. Okay. Okay, but that's the thing about freedom is one freedom does end where it starts to infringe on another freedom. This really is nothing new, though. You can't just do anything you want whenever you want. You can't just go around murdering people, or lashing out in certain ways. You can't you don't have the freedom to run down the street cursing at the top of your lungs at 4 a.m. because people are trying to sleep. They have a freedom, an expectation that they should be able to sleep in peace and not have some guy screaming outside their window at 4 a.m. waking them up. So one freedom ends where it infringes on someone else's freedoms. That's just the way it is. This is why our constitutional rights have limits. Yeah, I'm not arguing for mandatory vaccines. I'm not arguing that, of course. Nobody's mandating vaccines. But I'm just making the argument that one person's freedom ends where it begins to infringe on somebody else's freedoms. And that is a valid argument. I'm just reading through your comments here. Well, I get what you're saying with that. But realistically, not everybody can stay home all the time. There comes a point where you need to go out for something. And we've been in this pandemic for long enough that we can't just be incarcerated in our homes forever. So, I don't know. I don't have the answers to this. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue for mandatory vaccinations. But I don't think I'm against the vaccine passports either. Some businesses, not all of them are doing this. I haven't been to a single establishment yet that has required a vaccine passport. I've been to several restaurants now, grocery stores, other types of stores, gas stations. I haven't had any problem yet. Yeah, exactly. You don't have endless freedoms. We should have freedoms. All of us should be free. However, our freedoms should also be limited to when they start to infringe on other people's freedoms. You can't have unlimited freedoms for everybody, for everything, at all times. Because at some point, one person's freedom will then conflict with another person's freedom. So you have to have limits to these freedoms. But I think where people disagree is where those limitations should be. And I argue that the limitations should be reasonable. There has to be a balance. There has to be the right balance. A balance between freedom and regulation. I'm all for both. I'm all for freedom and I'm all for regulation, as long as both of them make sense and they work well together. So if you're working around the vulnerable population, then it does make sense, I think, to have mandatory vaccines for those workers who are exposed to, or who I should say, the patients are exposed to the worker. You have to remember the vaccine works very well, but in the elderly population, it doesn't work as well because it does require a fairly robust immune system to fully work. So you may be bringing the virus around the vulnerable population if you work with them. So it does make sense that you should be required to have a vaccine if you're going to work in that industry. So if you don't want to get a vaccine, then go work in a different industry. You have the freedom to work some other place that doesn't require it. So I do support mandatory vaccinations for certain workers who are around, who could bring the virus around to other people who are vulnerable. Yeah, and that is a problem with the vaccine passports. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a good point. That certain people can't get it, so then they would be excluded. So there should be something with that. Maybe a doctor's note, maybe explaining that they can't get it, and that should be an exception for going into the establishment. Okay, but this isn't just a fear. All right. Again, I'm not arguing for mandatory vaccinations all across the board here, but some fears are based on facts. It depends on what fears you're talking about. My fear of getting shot? No, I have a right not to be shot. That's a legit fear and a legit reason to disallow someone else from having the freedom to shoot me, just because they want to. And COVID is not just a fear. It's a fact. It's a thing. It's a real thing. Oops, where do we go here? Yeah, the limitations should be in constant adjustments. That's true. I do too, actually. I take a probiotic. I do everything I can to strengthen my immune system. So I'm surprised that, well, maybe I'm not surprised because, maybe they figure if you're not vaccinated, you would give it to your wife and then pass it on to the old people at the retirement home that she works at. I don't know. Um, I'm tired of them too, but if you're around people in close quarters, I still wear them because that's the right thing to do. But I am tired of them. I mean, we do what we have to do for now. This too shall pass. Someday the pandemic will be behind us and we can ditch the masks. But yeah, they are difficult to wear, especially, when it's hot or you're exercising. I don't wear the mask anymore on the hiking trails. I did in the beginning because we were required to by state law, but not anymore. I mean, just if I'm in close quarters with people, especially indoors. Ah, yeah. That would be a cool mask to wear, the Jason or the Michael ones. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't wear one on the hiking trail either. And it's funny how I pass people who do wear them. Like I'll be coming up on someone and they'll be like scrambling to put on their mask in a panic. And we're more than 6 feet apart. We're outside. We're just passing each other. There's like really no risk of catching it from either one of us. And it's just like, oh my God, don't worry about it. Not if you're already social distancing, you're outside, you know. I don't know. I don't wear it on the hiking trail either. The only time I wear a mask on the hiking trail is if there's a lot of wildfire smoke and I don't want to breathe the smoke. So I'll put on an N95 mask. Well, actually, I haven't seen any establishments with those signs. The only ones I've seen that say anything about masks are straight up requiring masks, or they're not. There are actually quite a few that aren't. And I have not actually been wearing a mask inside any place that doesn't require it. Especially since I'm vaccinated, I'm much less likely to be a carrier of it. But if I'm in close quarters with people, I'll definitely put it on. Just you know, but yeah, yeah. I was at a festival a couple weeks ago, and there was this family that came to the festival, and they were like 20 feet away from anybody else. And this one girl, the brightest dyed hair I've ever seen in my life, her face was full of piercings, had a mask on. Not that any of that has anything to do with it, but I just her appearance. She's just like covered in like piercings and the brightest ass hair I've ever seen in my life. Had a mask on, wasn't near anybody except her family members. And I'm like, why are you wearing a mask way over there? You're not going to get or spread COVID to anybody. You've been around your family. You're not going to catch it or spread it to anybody else. Being that far away outdoors. I don't know. That's true. Sunlight does kill the virus, from what I have read. Um, with the wildfire smoke in Yosemite at almost 10,000 feet elevation was a bit of a challenge. Yeah. Oh, KCG, you were in Yosemite lately? Huh. Wow. They put them on in a panic like we farted. I always look around on the hiking trail before I let one loose, just to make sure no one's. Yeah, you get some you get some pretty good blast offs when you're hiking because your body's moving around, getting those gases moving inside your intestines, and you get enough gas collecting, at the bottom that got a pretty good blast off going. So yeah, you better be wearing a mask when I blast off. So you are still capable of catching and transmitting COVID, but from what I have read, it's still being vaccinated, fully vaxxed, does still cut back on the percentage of people who are carriers of it when they're exposed to it, who would otherwise contract it. The numbers are a little bit conflicting, but taken in totality, it seems like people are still much less likely to have it and to transmit it, but they still can. They still can. But I think it's fairly rare. I'll have to look at some of the latest data on that. Girls like hearing farts? Yeah. Have you met my wife? Okay, sometimes she laughs. Other times she's just like, ooh. Yep, because you're moving around. You're getting that gas going. You're getting gas bubbles coalescing inside your digestive tract, your lower digestive tract. Yep. It substantially cuts down on transmission. That's right. Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. I do the eggies. And I don't always need to eat anything that things that have an obvious sulfur content, but yet still smells like sulfur. I don't know what's up with that. I mean, truly our digestive tract's basically a chemistry lab. You got all kinds of stuff happening in there. I've not heard of any jurisdiction telling us we need to wear masks inside our own homes. That's the first I've heard anything like that. And if they did that, then I would say that's an overreach of government if we were being told to wear them inside our own homes. Yeah, that to me would probably be an overreach in my mind. Oh, that's right, too. The vaccines also act as a shortening of the window of time that we could be a carrier of the virus. Yeah, I forgot about that. Um, what did I stumble into? Yeah, you stumbled into a topic about farts and vaccines. Isn't that lovely? Some tailgaters can smell your gas. Yep. That's what they get for tailgating, right? Oh, projectile diarrhea. That's not fun. Oh. Who blew up the bathroom? That's funny. All right. So, well, here's the thing. Some of the virus is encapsulated in the spit particles that leave our mouths when we talk. It's like a fine mist. And those particles are large enough to be stopped by the material in the mask. Now, if you're talking about dry particles, dry virus particles, if I'm not mistaken, an N95 mask can, I think, stop. I think are the particles small enough? Are the virus particles small enough that an N95 mask can stop them? But a regular cloth mask or a dust mask cannot stop dry particles from coming through. But if it's limiting the amount of breath, the forcefulness of the air coming out of your mouth and nose, then it does slow the transmission and it stops the spit particles from coming out. So I think that's the point. Farts to vaccines cause your farts to smell like vanilla and Parmesan cheese. Mine sure haven't. No. Oh, I would love to talk about when these gas prices are going to go down because they are sky high right now. It's not fun. Can't wait for them to go down. We're pushing $5 a gallon over here in California. All right. Is Halo Mastermind still in here? Are you still tuned in? It's been forever since I've had Halo in one of my streams. I don't know. We'll see if he's still around. Yes, we are pushing 5. It is over $5 a gallon for premium. And what's the other one? I always get the lowest grade, so I'm not sure. I can't remember what the other ones are called. Premium and Premium Plus or something. They're like $5.19, $5.29 a gallon, or something. I don't know, something. It's high. Let's just put it that way. Labor Day weekend for us is historically the highest gas prices you'll ever find. When you're talking about the seasonality of gas prices. Okay. Do I believe that the COVID virus is all fake and made up? No, absolutely not. Like I said, I've had family members die from COVID, 3 of them. Yet I haven't had any family members ever die from the flu or a cold. But I've now had, multiple family members killed by COVID, and a few who now have long haul COVID symptoms, who were sick, months and months and months and months ago, who are still dealing with lung damage, scar tissue in their lungs, other really bad stuff. So no, no. I think if the government really wanted to control us, they would have done it a long time ago, and they'd find far easier ways to do it. So no, I don't think the government's out to control us. I just don't. So Bad Drivers of Ohio is responding to that also. Absolutely not. So yeah, there's that. Well, I guess Halo isn't tuned into the stream anymore. You lost my audio. What? You guys can't hear me anymore? Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm lost my audio? Huh. I don't know, guys. My friends who have gotten it, definitely, it's not fake. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. Well, there's that. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I've got more work to do. It's been a very busy time period for us. There's never ever a shortage of work or material to present to you guys. So I think I'm going to sign off. I've had my 2 glasses of whiskey. Well, no, I didn't drink. I didn't drink entire whole glasses of whiskey. Just like a couple shots per glass. So, but I think that covers everything for us. We're going to do the road rage video on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. I'm not going to give it away. And actually, I don't even know which road rage video we're putting up on Wednesday. Could be one or the other. I don't know yet. Got to run that by the team, see which one they want to do first. We're going to do that Wednesday. Friday is going to be the compilation video, number 11. So that'll be fun. That might end up being kind of a long one. Seems like my list really filled up on scenes for that one. So we'll see how that goes. But that'll be Friday, this Friday. So be sure to tune in. You're welcome. It's our pleasure for doing this for you guys. We want to keep putting out content that you guys enjoy. You have a good night also. Channel is recovering for now. I don't know if that's going to sustain itself coming out of this big dip that we went through. But I could tell you that it wasn't just us going through that dip. There were a lot of other dash cammers talking about their views suddenly declining right around the same time ours did. So there's that YouTube algorithm is very fickle. You just never know what it's going to do next. You know. And yes, we are still accepting submissions. You can send them to baddriversofnapavalley@gmail.com. And we'll just have you acknowledge a few items before we can use your clips. Just general formalities. Hell, 9,000. Yeah. So there we have it. So we have a plan for the week, and you know what's coming out when, right? So we are safe from the wildfires for now, as long as we don't have one pop up around us and we have to evacuate or something crazy. We are going to post that road rage video Wednesday and the compilation on Friday. So look forward to sharing that all with you. And there might have been a couple things I wanted to go over, but I'll do another live stream sometime for anything I didn't cover tonight. And you guys all have... Oh, wait a minute. What happened here? Sorry. Every time I think I'm going to sign off, there's another comment that pops up. Somebody got skipped or got blocked? Oh, I don't see that. Okay. But before I go, Union Rail, Pacific Rail fan, what was your question? Go ahead with your question, and I'll see if I can answer it. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for Union Pacific Rail fan, I just want to address James French. Would you accept snippets of my old bus driver's view video? If you want to go ahead and send those videos to us, we can certainly review them and see if it fits our criteria for use. We do have kind of a long list of criteria that we use to determine whether any given clip will end up in our compilations. I don't make all the decisions here, so it's sort of a collective set of decisions that we make as to which clips get accepted and which ones don't. If you ever send us clips and we don't feature them, please don't take it personally. Even a lot of my stuff gets rejected. So, we just have to go through a long list of criteria. And that's just how it is. And besides, we get so many submissions that we do have to get more picky and choosy about what we use, or we would never catch up with the amount of stuff we're submitted. Due to the volume of it, it's if we were to accept all of it, it would be overwhelming, and we wouldn't be able to feature all of it. I mean, we can't feature all of it, so the criteria just sort of naturally follows. But yeah, go ahead and send that to us, and perhaps we can. We'll at least take a look at it and see if we can use it. Had an order of train cars due to COVID. It was delayed. Yeah. I don't know. Shipments around here have been really fast. It's really something else. Hello, Dashcam out east. Yes, unfortunately, you caught the tail end of this live stream, and I'm just about ready to sign off because I have to get back to work here. But I do hope you'll catch us earlier next time. Well, you can always go back and watch what you missed. This is going to be saved, so you'll be able to go back and watch it. All right, guys. Well, y'all have a good night, and you take care. Oh, I got to stop the screen share also. There we go. Yeah, you all take care. You got to see this drive in the background almost twice, almost all the way through two whole times. I hope you enjoyed the scenery in the background. You got to see how extensive our wildfire was. That burned things up around here. But hopefully we'll recover from that. And hopefully we won't have any more big fires around here. Yeah. All right, Union. You have a good night too, and you're always welcome to leave a comment, drop a comment. Okay, guys. Y'all take care. I love you guys. Tune in for the next videos, and I'll do another live stream sometime soon. All right? Okay. Good night, all.